What's good? It's Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
This is not
Not
another damn
another damn
podcast.
podcast.
Presented by
Our damn
my damn
self.
self. Episode 306.
Well, six.
Easter edition we doing. Yeah. And right now it's all together. You got Easter, which we had which is what ends Lent. Yeah, then you had Passover and then Ramadan all going on.
Still
So
going on. Yeah.
all the religious holidays, yeah, crossed over.
Commingling. They're commingling now.
Because what made me notice, 'cause obviously, like, yeah, we know the Ramadan part, but then I know a
Mhm.
lot, yeah, my Christian homies, they like doing Lent, which is like their version of Ramadan, yeah, where you
Right.
basically fast and you giving up for what 40 days, something like that, you
Yeah,
know.
giving them something.
Yeah,
That's why maybe I haven't seen like some people on social media because I know that's a big one now that people do. It's like they like I give up social media for Lent.
yeah.
Like a lot of like people I know have done that before.
And
So
your Jewish homies are Passover.
that's over you.
So Passover, Lent, and Ramadan were all coexisted this year. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I like it.
You don't see
Inclusion.
that every year. Yeah, with
Inclusion of everything. I like
all
it.
the
Like
damn fast. Yeah.
everybody deserves their respect. So you can acknowledge if you're a Christian, you can acknowledge your Muslim friends. If you're Jewish, you can acknowledge your Christian. Everybody can acknowledge one another
I know
without stepping on
I'm not,
anyone's.
I'm not the most Christian brother in the world, so bear with me if I got this wrong. And Lent kicks off with Ash Wednesday, I believe,
It
and then
does.
it goes to Palm Sunday, and then you have Good Friday, and then Easter right after that. I think
Mhm.
that's and right before Ash Wednesday is Fat Tuesday,
Fat
which is
Tuesday, Mardi
Mardi
Gras.
Gras, yeah,
Yeah.
which is why cats get crazy. That's our last time to really get lit before we go into Lent. That's where that comes
That's
from.
what Fat Tuesday, yeah,
That's
like you're
why
supposed to
supposed to
indulge.
go
Yeah, you're
crazy
supposed to
because the
indulge,
very
yeah.
next day you're on Lent. It's like with Ash,
Right.
that's what kicks it up. Yeah,
And then you have your meatless Fridays because you're supposed to be meatless on Fridays.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know a little
That's
bit,
yeah.
a little bit,
I know enough.
a little bit.
I think that's how it goes. It's like if I got that wrong, hit me in the comments. Let me know, Ozman the
And then
Wizard.
I know like my like very religious Christian friends, like they don't even say they say resurrection. Is
Yeah,
what they say.
Resurrection Sunday.
Resurrection.
Yeah,
It's Resurrection Sunday. It's not Easter
call it
Sunday. It's
Easter. Yeah,
Resurrection.
Resurrection Sunday.
I said, okay, resurrection. So yeah.
Me and Babe, we were watching Salem service. Yeah, shout out the retired now Pastor Meeks. That's right. Yeah, we
Mm.
watching their Easter service on Sunday, and of course like you had the whole like almost conga line of folks getting baptized because that's the day a lot of people choose. So the baptism was abysmal. Went. I was like, it seemed like it went on an hour to me. It probably exaggerated, but yeah, it probably was like let's say 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, it was like a whole bunch of people was getting baptized on that. I was like, okay, this is the Sunday where they're gonna get baptized. Probably regular Sunday, you might have like maybe two people. Like this one was like a whole line.
Come forth, my child. Call forth my children.
It was interesting. I was like, okay, yeah. I was into it.
Hey, the giggle that made me happy, the thing that made me giggle was when they said Easter hasn't been the same since Payless closed. You didn't even get like the shoes, like the little pastel shoes.
Easter
You
outfits.
need, you need the church shoes. You need the little shoe for the Easter Sunday. You do.
Have your Easter. Like all the kids got their Easter outfits, and then the women got
Yep.
the big Easter bonnet. They got wear the big ass Easter hat. It's like, the church sisters, gotta have an Easter bonnet. The church hats, you know what I'm talking about.
Pastels, yeah.
Gotta get
And
that
then
Easter
I saw
bonnet
another
first.
meme that had like the pressing oil and the pressing comb. It was like towards the night before Easter.
I
Just like
saw, yeah, it was what's
with
the
the
red
hot
and green
comb.
one? It's not cut. What's the red and green one? Yeah. I lost my hood past a little the red because I know
Oh
you have
yeah, because not that it's not
Dax and Murray's. That's like what the fellas use
what
for.
the guys use.
I
Yeah,
used Murray's when I had waves. Like that was my choice. I used Dax when I was little, and then Murray's as an
and
adult.
Murray's
Waves, yeah.
in the orange
That what
can.
the green and the red and green can was, but that's the grease they show.
Yeah,
Know exactly what I'm talking about.
present. Yeah, I'm picturing it. It's the present oil.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we both lost our hood. Neither one of us knows it. That's
Got the name bit.
I said, I know Dax and Murray's sporting waves. I know too. So that's the one. I know the guy ones. I don't know the red
I
and
get
green
the
one.
hot comb, and then you get the kitchen in the back. Get your kitchens and
Yeah, I want to know, man.
And almost every girl would
Find
get
that
this.
out, red and green grease. I don't know. How do you find that
And
out?
almost every little girl,
That's gonna bug me. Go
this
ahead.
part of your ear would get burnt right here.
Oh yeah, that ear
Burnt right there.
definitely
Every
gonna
little
have that.
black girl.
Definitely gonna have that ear. It's gonna put some butter on that ear. Definitely.
Every little black girl has had this part of their ear burned by a pressing comb. Every little black girl has. You just feeling it, you jump.
I'm
Did you
finding that
find
shit.
it?
Royal Crown. God damn it!
Royal
I wasn't
crown.
letting that go. Yeah, Royal Crown hair. Yeah. Probably could have asked mom, but yeah, but mom doesn't podcast. I could
Only one I know.
have called mom live and said, "What's the red and green?" She definitely would have known. Yeah, she was. Oh,
Yeah,
that's Royal Crown, and we
Royal
probably
crown.
would have
And
known.
of course, the
Definitely.
one that we always like with the oil your scalp. You had the blue magic to wear your
And I
scalp.
see the blue magic popped up.
The
Ultra
blue magic.
Sheen pops up. Do they still make? I guess they still make Ultra Sheen
You know,
still
I know blue magic.
products.
It came in a big jar like this big.
All of the because I said Royal Crown is here, Blue Magic, Ultra Sheen.
Oh yeah, Ultra Sheen was like in the little, and it was like the way
Little,
the
yeah, the
jar
little,
was.
the small jar was, yeah, that popped
It
in. Yeah,
was small, and then it like rounded out like
little,
this.
yeah,
It was
like a
like
triangle, yeah, pyramid,
yeah,
like yeah, it's like
it
a
was
pyramid.
like a tulip. That's how it looked like that.
That's Johnson Products right there. They were 87th Street, yeah. It's where the charter school
Well, the
is.
charter school is
You know,
perspectives now.
exactly. Yeah, that was
Yep.
Johnson Products
That was
back in
Johnson. Yep.
yeah.
I remember.
Johnson
I was like, oh,
Products.
can we get some products in there? Like, that's a where. Can we go in there and get some
Get some
stuff?
Ultra Sheen.
Some samples, get some Ultra
Soul
Sheen
Train be
samples.
sponsored by them back in the day. Now I'm gonna give my age. Remember Soul Train with Don Cornell, sponsored by Ultra Sheen. I'm sorry, you remember Soul Train, sponsored by
Unfortunately, I remember too.
well, Ultra Sheen sponsored Soul Train. I remember
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Soul Train was the shit Saturday morning. I don't care what
It
you
was.
so that was because remember we didn't. This is before you couldn't just watch
Internet. This is
before
like,
internet, so you couldn't just pull up videos and watch them when you wanted.
mhm,
This is even before TRR slash 106 in Park era. It was even
mhm.
before that. Like back, it was like Saturday morning was the licks. You had like Bandstand was like the early show because the white folks gonna get up early. And then Soul Train came on around noon because like we ain't getting
Yeah,
up.
like 11 o'clock noon. Yeah,
Yeah, like
so
Bandstand was like 9 or 10 in the morning. It came when that was ending. Soul Train was starting like around 11 or 12. So you watch the whole block. You get up at like 9 and watch like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Get all your music. Always called yeah. Even though Bandstand first, I always called Bandstand the White Soul Train. That's what I called to me. That's the White Soul Train. Even though it would be black acts on there, but you know what I mean. It's like it was the White Soul
And then
Train.
we had the dancer, like Soul Train dancers. Like, like we were like, I was trying to learn the moves, trying to dance.
Soul Train. Boom,
Some
boom,
good dancers.
boom.
Mhm.
Shout out Cheryl. No,
Rosie,
Rose. Um, what's her name? From Shalimar, Jodie Watley. She
Joey
started.
Wiley.
I was like, well, she was.
What's her call was a Soul Train dancer. Vivica Fox was on Soul Train. She was a Soul Train dancer.
I want to say Leela Roshan too. I'm not positive on that, but I think she,
And Alex Thomas was a Soul Train dancer.
hey,
The comedian, he was. He could dance too. They show he was like doing like his, pop lock. I mean, he could actually dance. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, he could dance.
And then, of course, later came the Soul Train Awards.
Yeah.
The first well, the Image Awards came first, but the first Black award show that I was really into was probably the Soul Train
Soul
Awards.
Train Awards.
Image Awards is more like for my mom and dad. Like that was like the old people.
It's more like Black excellence. More
Yeah.
like, yes, it's more like
Soul Train. That was like the one that we would look
we're
for.
going to be refined and
Soul Train was the original BET Awards, basically. That's
yeah, it
the
was lit.
Black like looking forward to. You're gonna see like like the cool people would be at Soul.
Performances, you're gonna see the rappers perform, and you're gonna see like dance routines. You're gonna see,
And ironically, what's funny about that too, like the parallels between Soul Train and Bandstand, there's a lot of parallels. Because Bandstand, like, well, you know what award show started out of that? Think about it.
AMAs.
Bandstand American Music Awards, yeah.
Yeah, AMAs, yeah.
Started by the late Dick Clark started that because he thought the Grammys were stuffy and shit. So he said I want to start a show for like young folks. It's like
For
so
the younger
AMA was
crowd.
like yeah. So like yeah. And the AMA, especially back in the 80s, were like the better show. Like, yeah. Like Michael Jackson, that's the one I remember, like the Michael Jackson show.
Yeah.
He was up on stage like 75 times because he won every award for him. Like I remember that.
Whitney Houston was on there, yeah.
And the AMAs was the
Yeah,
coolest
artists like that,
shows.
yeah.
It was always cooler than the Grammys. Just like Soul Train was cooler than the Image Awards. So a lot of parallels with those two shows I'm thinking about.
Was that the AMAs when Prince was being shady when they were singing "We Are the World"? Was that the AMAs? I
Might have
think
been, yeah. I think
when
it was.
Quincy Jones put
Lionel
the
Richie
mic in his
hosted, yeah, I
face.
think it was, yeah.
Quincy Jones, "We Are the World." He put the mic in there. Prince like was
Yeah,
eating
the
his
lollipop
lollipop,
was like,
and then
yeah.
he put his lollipop. Like I'm not singing that. Prince was being shady.
Mm-hmm. I think
At
that
the end, when it was like "Good night, everybody," he was like the way he flung his hand, like Prince was the king of shade. He was
Prince was
shady.
supposed to be on We Are the World, but he no showed to take
It was corny.
because he got an invite because that's like because that's the one regret people had that Prince and Michael Jackson never worked together. The closest they came was James Brown on New Year's that one year. Hey, but which yeah, that's a very interesting video if you've never seen it.
You
It's
just
like
Google it. Google James
James
Brown,
Brown,
Prince, and
Prince,
Michael
Michael Jackson.
Jackson.
Look that up. Yeah,
Just
it's,
Google it and you'll
when
find
James
it.
Brown was doing a New Year's show and then he invited Michael on stage, his young protege. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael mentions that, hey, Prince is here too.
This is
Like,
here
bring him on.
too.
He went to whispers. Then James said, hey, I hear Prince is here. And then like the guy from Purple Rain carries Prince on stage. The big the boss don't see nobody. Like that
Yeah.
Apollonia was trying to sneak in the First Avenue. Yeah, that guy. It's like
Big Hulking. He looks like a fake Hulk Hogan, basically. That's what he looks like.
boss don't see nobody. And the boss was Billy Sparks. Shout out Billy, which I've met. That's a whole nother story.
What's this one song?
This one song shit. Yeah, that's a whole nother. Squeezing you kid, but a kick ass tomorrow else. You can't be around somebody you grew up watching because then you just become a fan.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was AMAs with Prince was being shady.
Yeah. AMA started out of band. That was the Bandstand Awards, basically. Yeah, just like Soul Train started the Soul Train Awards. And then they brought him back. Soul Train that went away for a while now. Like BET brought him back a few years ago.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because, like, yeah, you already had your own show, the BET and the BET Hip Hop Awards. You had two shows. It's like, yeah, let's bring Soul Train back because for legacy purposes, yeah. So they brought him back.
And I like what they're doing. I like Tisha Campbell and Tashina Arnold hosting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're besties and just their chemistry is like undeniable. Like, they're like hilarious how they play off of one another. So I mean, I like that, seeing the two besties hosted.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into it. We've warmed up enough.
Yes. Thank you for listening to the warm up.
Yeah. So did anything interesting happen in Chicago this week? I don't know.
I don't know. Did it? Did something interesting?
What
was going on?
Was it some kind of special election? I don't remember. It's like
what was going on? Yeah, it was something that happened.
City of Chicago, the very core, was it rocked at all? Something happened this week. I can't put my finger on it. Oh, Brandon Johnson
becomes the 50th
mayor-elect.
Right? Yeah. I was like, On it's the 40th anniversary since the last one they had black male mayor, because Harold Washington got elected in 1983.
He was the first.
Yeah. He was the first, and he got elected in 1983. So the fact that 2023, okay, it's like that's a 40-year. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. That it feels like the circle is complete. And I mean, I watched his when he had his congratulatory speech. I watched it, yeah. And
all of that, I was teaching that class.
I watched it. I was like, okay, because like when we was checking the results, like when we knew it was going to be a close race because we were like, it's going to be close.
The polls were showing it was neck and neck, like going.
Yeah, it was always close.
Said it could go either way, like I knew.
Right. Yeah. And like when the polls first, like I said, the first time I looked at the results was maybe like 720, 725 like that, and they had Vallis slightly ahead. And I'm like, okay, for the
I
first
saw Johnson
returns.
leading the whole time. Maybe I looked after you, but Johnson was
Yeah.
the whole time that I
And then when I checked back at like 8 something,
maybe
and
that's
then I
what I
was
saw.
like, oh shoot.
I'm like, oh,
And then he pulled like a convincing lead. And then by then after a certain day, it's like they called it, they was like Rand Johnson has won
he got
the
to
runoff.
about 85, 86 is when it was called, I think, when they
Yeah,
got
they was like, yeah, he
time
got it.
limit. Yeah. Vallis probably conceded around that time.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you know what.
But
But yeah, very interested to see like the
gonna be
results of
I
the way they
want to
came
see
out.
going forward. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I had my concerns obviously with both candidates, which we talked about on this podcast before. I saw you Val is old, out of touch. No, we don't need no shout out shade, no shade. As I'm about to say some shady shit. No shade to the boomers, but we don't need no money, no more of y'all in office. Sorry, not sorry. We don't need no more boomers in
We
office.
need somebody with fresh ideas. We need Xers or old millennials. That's what we need. We need Xers slash old millennials. That's what we need.
Well, Johnson is a couple of concerns I had, but now he's in office, so um hopefully he pivots from some of the concerns. Like I said, we talked about whether he's gonna be tough on crime or soft
That's
on.
on crime. Mhm.
Like he said that he's going there. I like some of his ideas on that. He said he
Yeah,
wants to put more detectives on the street. I'm like, that's a good idea. Like instead of just patrol officers, have more detectives that who can solve homicides. I'm like,
yeah.
I like that.
That's a good
I like
idea.
that.
And then another thing I like too that he said that he wants to put money into mental health because I'm not saying that everything like every time somebody does something like why would you go shoot up a school? Why would you do bomb a restaurant or whatever? I'm not saying that health is attached to every single thing that's done that just seems out the box, but some stuff is a mental thing. And like if resources are there to help address the people who actually do have mental health issues, then it's less likely that they can commit an act of violence if a resource is there. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, I do agree with doing that. And like I said, I did like the detective thing. I did like
I
that.
saw that when he was. I said, I like that idea. Yeah,
Mhm.
if put more detectives, like so basically, you promote from within. It's like make
Yeah.
you better beat cops. Like make them detective. Yeah, it's like I say
Mhm.
I like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool idea.
And
But
then the
one
other,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You go ahead. We
Oh, and then the other thing that I liked was him like basically saying that he wants to like before he start grabbing and try to be like, we need to raise, I would do like let's look at these budgets, like let's relook and see because sometimes you can borrow away from you can be like, okay, if I just cut 2% off of this, I still have a large percentage here, but just cut a little bit here, cut a little bit here. It won't really make that big of a difference. But if you just refigure your budget rather than say, oh, we need more money. It's like because
need to raise
at
tax, i.e., we need to raise taxes.
yeah, exactly. Because at some point, it's like you can't get blood from a turnip. You just can't. Like you just keep on pulling money and keep on pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. Like people's dollars are stretched as if people's pockets are like our pockets are. This is what they do now.
One of the things he did back off, which he said, which was like a couple of years back, like I said, which a lot of people said a lot of wild shit when 2020 when George
Yeah,
was,
because I mean it was an emotional time.
and he was
Yeah,
like it wasn't applauding the looters, but he basically was like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like it's like there was a video clip of him like that was
yeah, but
went
that
viral.
was 3 years ago.
Like, and I remember at the time around the time when I turned on that was when I was out there in the streets. Because before
Yeah,
that, like when it was in Minnesota, I was like, yeah, burn all that shit down. And then when I saw it in your face, it's like, okay, like this ain't cool. It's like,
people
yeah,
grabbing
change,
Jordans. It's like okay, this
change your
isn't.
stance. It's like, yeah.
If you're grabbing Jordans, this
But it
isn't a
seemed like he
political
was
thing.
still on that after that, and I was like, yeah, but he kind of backed off of that. He was like, yeah, it was
When I saw the people looting the ATM at Chase on 83rd and Stewart, I was like, oh my God. Like when I saw that, I was like, okay.
They went in the bank on 92nd. That's a part of my viral video. My
Yeah.
video that was
I
viral.
saw that. I saw it. Yeah, I was
Bank right
watching.
next to the Walgreens, and in the comments, everybody was saying like, "No, y'all just got federal charges because
Those are
like
federal charges, yeah.
that's bank robbery. If you loot the bank, it's like
And
yeah,
your
it's
dumb
federal
self is on camera.
on camera. Yeah, because I went live and like yeah, so if they went out
Your
to the
dumb self is on camera. They have facial recognition software now. So your dumb self out there, what you got, maybe $200. Your dumb self got $200, and now you got federal charges against you.
So y'all just got federal charges, not just like stealing from Walgreens or like stealing from the villa on the corner. Yeah, you
Yeah,
bank
that's a
robbery. That's a
federal.
that's a whole nother animal there. Bank robbery.
But stealing from like a store is petty larceny. That's
Yeah,
a
especially
misdemeanor.
still under a
That's a
certain
misdemeanor.
amount. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's under
I just
like
seen that. I mean, I worked at a grocery store. Like if a kid, like, somebody got, it's like you just
I think
under, so
anything
you just,
under $200 is like is a misdemeanor, it's a slap on the wrist, basically.
yeah,
Anything under $200 is
right,
like, but okay, just take your ass home. Just don't
right,
do it again, basically.
pretty much. They call your parents, like if you're a kid, yeah.
And here's one of the concerns I saw that concerns you. What I saw with Johnson. Hopefully, he clarifies this statement when he was talking about he was in support of selective enrollment. Like, that
Right.
like that's the one I thought about.
That was one that made me kind of be like,
Basically
because
saying that you need to fund the neighborhood school, but I'm thinking, I'm like, if you don't want your kid to go to that school in the corner, you shouldn't have to send them there. That's what
right.
I totally believe in selective enrollment. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have to go to the school on the corner.
As products of selective enrollment
Yeah, I came from selective as did you. Yeah, so
and my children
I'm
are
definitely pro
part,
selective enrollment. Yeah,
and my children are part of selective enrollment
I
now. So
went
it's
to
like,
Black, went to Kenwood. Yeah, definitely pro selective enrollment.
as am I. So it's like that was the thing that did make me go like, because when I did my thing about who I want to vote for, I did a blind thing because
Have
I
that
think,
you put your concerns to see who's like in support of or who's against your concerns.
yeah,
Like
because in the paper they had like a nice write up where they had with all the candidates, they asked them like 4 or 5 questions or whatever, and then I just covered everybody's name. Like I did that so I could be totally anonymous. I covered everybody's face, their pictures, and I just read the answers. Just okay, I agree with this person. I agree with this person. And that's how I did. And I was like, okay, I align most with this candidate, and that's how I voted.
and one of your concerns was the selective enrollment.
Selective enrollment and the property taxes, because
Yeah,
at one point
taxes. He's like he's backed off some from that. He still wants to raise taxes, but he's
the
backed up.
taxes, because those are the two things that made me go like the other stuff I was online with him, but then those two I was like like selective enrollment
The
and
tough
property
one,
taxes.
the crime one was my biggest concern.
Those were mine.
Yeah, that was mine just going into the election. But yeah, that's I'm rooting for him. I want him
But
to
the good
win.
thing is that
I want the man to win.
the good thing that I do like that I am seeing is that even though she got voted out, like, and like I said, we haven't seen a mayor get voted out because Daley was there for
First time, ironically,
by
history.
another woman. Yeah, yeah, another
The
woman.
last mayor to do one term was the first female mayor. So like the black mayor replaced the female mayor. We had history after one term. History repeats itself. Yeah. And then they had one. Oh, it's like so much history. It's so much history because then it was one mayor in between Daley and the first female mayor. It's so much history.
Yeah,
You had
we had
Daley. I obviously I don't remember Daley or Belandic, but I know the history because I'm a historian a little bit. Yeah, you had Daley, Belandic, Byrne, Washington. This time we had Daley, Emmanuel, Lightfoot. It's like, same thing.
Wow, it's like a pattern. Yeah.
Then a mayor in between, then a female mayor, then the black mayor. Same thing. It happened exactly the same way. It's like from back in the 70s and early 80s. The exact same pattern. It's Daley, then one mayor in between. And then you had the first female mayor, and then followed by the black mayor. So I just thought about that right now, literally.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Like
it went from a
because I was just going back to the Daily we knew, not
yeah. When I thought of when you said it,
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, yeah, because Blandick was in between Daley and Jane Byrne, so it happened then too. You had Daley, then you had the one other mayor in between. Yeah, which is Rahm Emanuel in our time. Yeah, because
I was counting that. Like, yeah. Wow.
I was just talking. I was thinking Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson, like yeah, from the female to the black. And I was like, wait a minute. But back then it was a similar pattern too, because Blandick came in between Daley and Lori Lightfoot. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Because what did him in, like Mom told me this story, was like the blizzard of 78. Killed Dick and Jane Byrne got over him. Was like, yeah, this motherfucker couldn't even get the snow off the street. How you gonna trust him as mayor? Like she basically
blizzard 78 was a big one. That was a big blizzard. Blizzard 78. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a little baby then, so obviously I don't remember. You wasn't
You don't
born, so I don't
remember?
remember no
I
Bush.
wasn't born, so. But
So
I know that people of a certain age have like, oh yeah, the
mom
city
told
got
me about
shut
that.
down.
And she told me that's how Jane Byrne got elected
I
because
am.
she campaigned on that. It's like, yeah, this dude couldn't even get the snow off the street. It's like, hey, you want him as your mayor? Like she went after him on
But I'm
that.
glad that you opened the door with this because I'll just read part of this excerpt letter that I got 3 days after the election. So that shows that they were on some late stuff in Chicago because I was still getting circulars in the mail 3 days after the election. I'm like,
I think I saw Willie Wilson's name continue to
it was. This is from his desk. It says from the desk of Willie Wilson, dear neighbor.
read in his voice. No, don't do that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I
So
would have
basically,
read in his voice. I'm an asshole. Look, boy.
he was talking about like his history about how he came from Jim Crow South and everything. He was a son of a
This is the
sharecropper.
boy from Jim Crow South.
Stop.
I'm a sharecropper.
No, but reading this, it basically is his endorsement for Paul Vallis. And this is what it says on his letter, quote, Paul Vallis is a candidate who will provide a better Chicago for people of all colors, including Blacks and other people of color. And here's why. And as I'm reading this letter, I'm like, Willie, no. Like Willie, no. Like he talks about Black Chicagoans are disproportionately harmed by crime. Okay, whatever. And then this one right here, here's the kicker, number 2. We had a Black mayor for the last 4 years in Chicago. Did that make you safer? No.
Wasn't you running for mayor, Willie? Like you would have been a Black mayor.
Let me. I'll get there.
Wow,
And then,
that's what I'm
and
like.
then, and then here, did having a Black mayor, number 4, did having a Black mayor make our public schools predominantly populated by Black and Hispanic kids any better? No. Then it closes. The candidate who is best for Black Chicago is the same candidate who is good for all of Chicago. And my whole problem with that is, if he was a person who didn't run for mayor like a week ago,
Yeah, if you said that, just be like because if you want to, yeah, you can endorse who you want. Like
you can endorse
I don't
whoever
like
you
the
want to
meme. I
endorse.
like the memes been going out about everybody who endorsed Paul Vallis and saying that they coon. Just like just
I don't like that.
You don't want to endorse Brandon Johnson, you don't have to.
I've never not once called them coons because
I don't, and I haven't voted by race. Like Obama was the last person I voted for by race. It's like, yeah, it's like, and I admit that I did vote for Obama because he's the Black guy. It's like, yeah,
he was a Black guy and he was cool.
but typically like before, because like 2004 is the first time I really went independent. I was like, before that I was like Team Democrat, yeah, like yeah, blue vote blue no matter who I was that. It's like, yeah. Then 04, because I said I don't like Bush, but I don't like Kerry either. So like, yeah,
I don't like either though.
So then I started looking. I was like, okay, like yeah, whose issues like most aligned with me? That's when I started. The first time I actually voted like that. And then I voted like that up until then, 08, of course, like Obama, yeah, and like he's from Chicago.
Chicago.
From Chicago, the Black guy. So I was like, yeah, even if
the young Black guy from Chicago.
Not a boomer. Yeah, so I was like, yeah.
The young, because he was young. Barack was like a little bit older than me. The young Black guy.
I think he just made it under the X threshold. Because he's born at 61, so he's like on the very old end of X. Yeah. Like, yeah, he just made it. Yeah. So
yeah. So the young Black guy with the name that sounds similar to ours, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. He has a name that sounds similar to ours. The funny sounding name.
That's the last candidate I voted by strictly on race. Like I'll admit that. Anybody else, I look at whose issues most align with me. Like that's how I like to vote.
So that's my whole problem. I was like, I'm definitely.
Brandon Johnson doesn't align with your issues. Who like maybe some of these candidates who endorsed him didn't like. Why would you endorse him? It's like, yeah, like
yeah. I mean, I get that. I said, but when I was like, I gotta read.
Wilson, that's ridiculous, though. Yeah, well, yeah, because you're Black and you just ran for mayor, saying like, yeah, you don't need a Black mayor. Why the hell you run then, dude?
And that's my thing, because like the first thing I probably I said, so are you saying that Blacks are inferior to white because the best person to take care of Black Chicago is a white man? That's what I heard. That's what I heard. That's what I interpreted when I read this letter. Like I was like, Willie, no, Willie.
I don't want to see that shit. I didn't get that letter. Send me that.
Because it came in Marcus's name. It didn't come in my name. It came to Marcus.
Yeah, well, I'm not on Willie Wilson's mailing list. I didn't get that shit.
And when Marcus is like, no, when Marcus is he's like, no, Willie. Marcus is like, no, Willie.
Yeah,
Like, no,
scan that and email it
bro.
to me. He's just like, I want to see that with my own eyes. Scan it and email it to me.
I'll screenshot. I'll take a picture. I'll text it to you.
Decide whatever you want to do.
I will text a picture to you so you can read this whole like just reading that. I'm like, if you didn't run for mayor, then that would
Yeah, it would make sense
that you ran for mayor is like
if you're just a businessman endorsing Paul Vallis, it makes sense. But the fact that you just ran for mayor against Paul
a
Vallis
day ago, the day before this.
and probably dissed him in some of your campaign ads, so you probably dissed.
And then talking about the public school, it's like we saw what Paul Vallis did to the public school system, so I'm not going to even go there. He was in charge of the public school when I was there.
Superintendent back. I'll tell you when
I was there.
Wasn't there when I was there. I was gone by the time Paul Vallis.
He was there in the 90s when I was there.
But I just missed him. I finished right before. He might have been like my I don't remember. I don't know what year he took it over. Like could have been Vallis. He could have.
I know he definitely because I remember seeing that name on my stuff when I was at Chaz. I remember seeing his name.
I don't know what year he took over. So it might have still been Ted Kimbrough, and I don't remember what year.
Yeah, he was definitely there when I was at Chaz.
But I did meet Paul Vallis during that time. I was doing the KKC Street Talk Show and the Run of the Board.
He came to our school during that time. He came to
Vallis during that time. So that's my only experience with Paul Vallis. I met him during that time.
But that just bugged me when he did. I'm like, why would you?
It's kind of hilarious to me.
Like you just basically just contradicted yourself. So Willie, just keep being the humanitarian you are.
Keep paying for people's gas and keep
doing your giveaways because
keep it moving.
Because when what's the Ben say in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So just keep doing that. You've been given great power, so use it responsibly. Do your giveaways. Help people pay. Like he's paid people's property taxes before. He's paid people's past due light bills, gas bills, whatever.
Hopefully, Willie Wilson is done running for office.
Yeah, because
he runs every year. He runs for something.
He runs. One thing lately,
never wins, but he runs for something every year.
He's gonna run for something. So president, mayor,
maybe this governor. Like he's gonna run.
Superintendent.
I think he ran for senator and shit one year.
Alderman. He's gonna run for something.
Probably could win alderman, like depending on his district. He probably could win that.
Was he at River North or something?
Yeah, he might be.
He's somewhere up like that way. He's somewhere.
Speaking of former alderman, our current congressman, like to me, like what I was gonna say, like what put Brandon Johnson over the top was like an endorsement from a non-black. Yeah, I think the Chuy Garcia endorsement.
Chuy Garcia, yeah, I think so too.
Because he came in like at the 11th hour, literally last minute. I didn't see Chuy endorse him till like 2 days before. It was like I started seeing his commercials. Like, yeah, I'm Chuy Garcia, and I endorsed Brandon Johnson. Like I was like, it was like that Sunday. I saw,
and they were like this together.
It was like that Sunday before the election. It was like literally 2 days before the election.
It was.
I was like, okay, because like Chuy had been military side. I was like, yeah, because I was like, because he got a big follower. So whoever he endorsed might win. Is what I was like. Yeah. Especially I said, it's a close race. Like whoever he endorses might win. And when I saw him, that's when I started thinking Johnson had a legit shot. Mm-hmm. Not saying there's like the black folks are typically automatically gonna vote is like, but that Latino vote is a swing vote. It's like that could go either way.
Vote, it is. Yeah.
So like if you get Chuy saying, hey, like this is my guy, like a lot of them
vote for him.
Yeah, they might listen to that. So okay, Chuy likes Brandon Johnson, maybe I should vote for him. So I think that's what put him over the top. Was the Chuy Garcia endorsement? Yeah,
and then I saw whatchamacallit put his ad out like 2 days before too. Like, hi, I'm Common, and the mayor you need is Brandon Johnson. I saw Common on.
I saw that on YouTube. I didn't see it. I did. Like
I saw a commercial.
Like the ads pop up on YouTube. I did see that.
Common is doing that too. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the celebrity one kind of. I was like, I don't, because sometimes celebrity endorsements can backfire.
Yeah, they can. I was just shocked to see Common, because like I haven't seen Common in a while, so it was just like I was just shocked to see him. I was like,
sometimes celebrity endorsements turns people off, but yeah, a lot of people might have not even saw it. I saw it on YouTube, like I said, so that's where I saw it. I don't know where you saw it, but I was watching a YouTube video and it came up like before the video I was trying to watch the Common Brandon Johnson video popped up. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's also like Common.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
I was thinking, I was like, sometimes celebrity endorsements, some people like, especially like what if you don't like Common's music? Like, I ain't voting for that. That nigga suck. It's like what is like, it's like that. It's like sometimes celebrity endorsements can backfire.
Well, Common got his school here, Arts and Motion. He got his school here,
Yeah.
so and he has his Common Ground nonprofit. So yeah, no, he got like even though he's not here anymore, but I mean, I know
Yeah,
he still has like
he
ties.
grew up in the same neighborhood as us,
Still
basically.
got ties here in Chicago. So
He grew up in Cal Heights, just like we did.
yeah, yeah. Grew up in the hood, in the hood like us, our hood.
So
But
let's.
congratulations to Brandon Johnson. Congratulations,
I'm
and
rooting for him. I want him to win because I'm from Chicago and I want Chicago to win. So
yeah, I do. And I
I'm.
liked his speech at the end because he was saying basically like this is a new day. He basically was saying like he wants to he wants Chicago to be that city. Like that's basically what I got out of it. He wants it to be that city. Like Chicago is a great city. Like I want it to be like let's stop the negative, stereotypes about like this is our city. And he's like, I want a safe place. And the fact that he has children, so I mean, I connect with that because he's a family man. He's married. He has a wife and 3 kids. So I connect with that because
He's
I
around
maybe
my
yeah.
age, so yeah, that
Yeah.
I like that because like I said, I'm sick of the boomer politics.
Yeah. He's a young guy. Yeah.
No shade. It's like yeah, it's like,
And he's pro union because said he worked for CPS. He's comes from union. I'm a union worker, so it's like so I could. I'm like okay. So I'm hoping that we can get some resolution in
not the
Chicago.
crime. That's all I want. Yeah,
Yeah, let's get this crime in order
don't
and
raise taxes. That's my thing.
don't raise
It's a
taxes
crime. Don't raise taxes. I'm a happy man. That's all I want.
and don't mess with selective enrollment.
Yeah, like leave the select because hey, we
For
both
me,
products of that. Yeah, you don't want your kids to be forced to go to the neighborhood school. That's some bullshit. I think. So yeah,
outside of that, we're gonna be doing this.
exactly. Yeah.
We're gonna be doing.
Let's stay in politics. Yeah.
Mhm.
Former President Donald J. Trump turned himself in to New York district attorneys. Yeah. On how many counts was it? I forgot. I forgot.
32 or something, I
Yeah.
think. It was like over 30, I would say. I think it was 32.
It's a lot of counts. We know that much. Yeah. I want to get the exact number. But what do you think this does to his presidential run? Yeah. Does it help, hurt, or it does? It's about the same. What do you think?
He once said in a speech that he could walk out and shoot somebody and he would still get voted. Like he
Not
said
that
that.
far off.
He said that.
He's
He
not that
once
far
said that.
off.
He once said that. So I mean,
Donald
he
Trump is a
had people
popular
drinking
motherfucker.
bleach. People were drinking bleach because of him. So I mean,
34 felony charges.
34. Okay, I was off. I said 32. I was close. I said 32.
It's about the Stormy Daniels payments. Basically, he's saying like where the money come from. If it was political money, then yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, if it's your own money, like who cares?
Who
You
cares?
paying the porn stars, like yeah, but
Major mistress.
they
Like I said,
gave
the
her
only
money to
person,
not talk about it. Yeah,
the only person who has a say so is like your wife. Melania is the only one who can be pissed about it.
yeah, and she's bad. She's been playing military silence on all of
She's the
this,
only
so
one who can
I
be
don't even know if
pissed.
she cares or not because she ain't said nothing. But
I'm gonna lean towards she probably doesn't because they didn't seem
probably
very.
to me, she probably at least I ain't gotta have sex with him. Yeah, that's what I go ahead. Yeah, I ain't gotta.
Thank God, I gave you a baby. That's all. I mean, like we
Probably
know
since
they had
probably
we know
since
they had sex at least one time because
probably since Stormy Daniels a present on her birthday. Like, thank you. Send her a birthday gift. But
but I mean, I think that with Trump's legacy, I think that I really think it honestly is gonna for his diehards. I don't think it's going to really affect.
I think it's
I
gonna be
really
about the
don't.
same. I don't think it helps or
I
hurts, like
really
because he
don't.
already
Yeah,
got his following, and
he
like this,
does.
like if you were on the fence, this is not gonna swing you. It's like I don't think so,
The only thing that would make him is like if Trump just does a 180 and he says like, yeah, Black lives do matter, and he just goes like that way, then he can turn on his own.
if he says fuck MAGA and like he just turns on his support.
If he does that, then that's the only way they'll turn. But
But
other than that,
yeah,
he
I don't think it affects. I don't think Trump is gonna get the nomination from Republicans. It just seems like I don't think you're gonna catch that lightning in a bottle twice. It's like
No,
Trump
they're going
he was just the right candidate for the right time. It's
at the
like
right time. Yeah.
it's like it doesn't seem like he has the same. He has his supporters obviously, but I don't see that same support that we saw in 2016.
2016, because it was a
It
different
feels,
time.
it's like yeah, it feels
You're
different.
right. It
Yeah,
does. Because people are evolving. That's why I can say it. Like as we age, now we're getting more people that are able to vote. We got Gen Z now. The Gen
yeah,
Z people can vote now.
yeah. Mhm.
Like that whole generation, like technically, I want to say I think Ariana is at the very end of Gen Z. I think she
Yeah,
is. I think Gen Z ends at 2015. I think that she technically is a Gen Z, I
yeah.
think.
And
So
I don't know what the current one, but I call them Zoomers. That's what I like. Yeah, I want that to go. I want that the current gen. I want to be called
I
Zoom.
call them influencer because we're in the
I like
influence
Zoomers
era. I say influencer.
because they grew up with because they were like zooming everything because of
Zooming, yeah.
and it's like a play on boomers and Z. It's like a play on Gen Z and boomers, like Zoomers. Like I
That's a
like the
good
phrase.
one.
Yeah. So like I've
That
heard
trend
like somebody else said it for like the Zoomers. I'm like maybe it'll catch on. Like, so yeah, if it I'm taking credit like I said it first. God damn it.
I said mine is influencer because we're just in that influencer era. Because I'm thinking about like silent generation. You think about the like back with our grandma, because like nothing, it was a silent generation because when nothing happening back then, it was
Yeah.
completely silent. And now it's like everything is ooh, social media, social media. So everything is that now.
They
So
go to a concert, it's like people don't even watch the concert. Everybody now is like got their phone up. It's like, yeah. And they watching the concert
through
through a
the
little ass
phone.
screen. It's like, yeah. Was
And
back in
that's
the day,
why
we were in the moment, we just watching. Like I'm seeing Jay Z on stage. I'm watching Jay Z. I'm not looking at Jay Z through a little ass screen. It's like,
and that's why I pull myself back. I do miss a lot of stuff, a lot of like pictures and things because like I do, but I want to stay in the moment.
me, what I do, I do a little compromise. I take my video, get my little clip, and then post it to my story, and then I put the phone away. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's like
Because
you
I
get
try to enjoy my moment first, and then like once I'm like, okay, I'm in my moment, then I'll pull out and then I'll do like my little clips or
about
whatever.
a month ago or something. I went to a WWE show and like I was doing the story the whole time I was there. What I would do
Mhm.
like during a ring entrances, I have the phone on, get them a ring entrance, then put the phone, then I just watch the match. I'm in the moment, yeah, just watching the match. I didn't like have the whole phone the whole time getting the match and all that. It's like okay, yeah. And then when I went to the comedy, I don't even do comedy shows at all. Like yeah, I'm just in the moment with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at the comedy show because we went to we saw Earthquake down there where I was like a bunch of comics in
Oh,
Rockford and me
that
and
sounds good. Yeah.
yeah a few months back yeah. And that one, yeah, I'd never even pulled the phone yeah, because like for a couple of reasons, because like comedy, you just want to react to the jokes. It's like and like with comedians, like they go on the road to like work on their act. So yeah,
Right.
like they don't necessarily want this stuff getting out. It's like because they
Yeah. Now,
still
yeah.
it's like it's not
Respect it. Yeah. I
yeah.
agree. Respect it because it's like if I'm trying to get I finally got my joke right. I finally got it, like, yeah. And then you put it on your Facebook, you got 5,000 followers, you got, or Instagram, you
Or
got 5,000 followers on Instagram.
or you have an earlier version of when the joke wasn't quite right yet, and that's much like you
Yeah.
ain't funny at all. It's like,
Where
yeah,
they
they're still
land.
working on
Yeah.
the joke. That's why it's like that's what you do. Dude wasn't funny last night. He was still because that's what like a lot of people are like Chris Rock, for example, that but Netflix special. He had been working on that all year, like all this time. He been
Yeah.
it's like yeah,
Mhm.
like some of the jokes people had heard before, like yeah, it's like people if you went to the show, it's like. But I think he banned phones from it, like which like the top comics can do that. It's like
Yeah.
no phones. Or like
No
Chappelle
problem.
has it where I think it might scramble or something where you can't the phone won't work or something. It's something they do with like it's some device in there where like you can't like I know
No
Chappelle
signal.
does something like
Nothing.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
You get nothing.
But yeah, I wouldn't if I was a comic, I wouldn't even take no phone. You gotta either leave it in the car or like we have or you could check your phone at the front.
You
Like
got a locker. Like we have lockers. Like
yeah,
just have like a little tiny locker this big, like phone size lockers.
yeah.
That's an
That,
idea.
yeah.
Create phone size lockers at these things. That's an idea. And then you just put your phone in your locker and
And in the end, yeah, come get it at the end. That's what I do. Yeah, because like
mhm.
with comics, the only way to know if a joke is working is with an audience.
Yeah.
You can
You
just
have
tell
to
it to
test
your
your
friends
material.
or like yeah, like your friends. They like yes, man. A lot of time they
They
gonna say
lie.
yeah,
The worst one is checking it with your significant other.
Yeah.
That's the worst because you know
You
they
so
ain't gonna be
funny,
honest.
yeah. Like, no, you're not.
Baby.
So like the
Thankfully.
only way to get these jokes is like, yeah, in front of a live audience. It's like, okay, like that didn't let me work on that one a little bit more. Or let me just completely drop this joke. Yeah, that totally is like you working on the act. And so but we see the finished product when we see the special on Netflix or HBO or wherever. That's the
People
finished
fail to
product.
realize comedy is an art form. It is like contrary to popularly, everybody, nobody, not just anybody can just go up there and just tell a joke.
I went on stage. I know first.
You know firsthand.
I went all jokes aside, yeah. Open mic hosted by Damon Williams, who I consider a friend now, but that was when I first met him. And like,
He
the
roasted
less said
you.
about that, yeah,
Yeah, it's an art form. So like everybody thinking that they can like the thing that pops in my head is when D.L. Hughley was on The Fresh Prince and then he was trying, Will was like, well, I'm funny. And then Will got put into the comedy routine from the comedy show that D.L. was working hard on or whatever.
they put
And then
him
when
on,
Will went
he
there
bombed. Yeah,
and Will bombed, like he was awful, like he was terrible. But that's what pops into my head when people say, oh, well, I can do a comedy, it's easy. But I'm glad that you opened up the door for the comedy thing because guess what I watched this morning?
what's up?
I watched Monique's special on Netflix this
Ah, I
morning.
haven't watched it. How was it? I've heard negative reviews, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, let me preface by saying this. Comedy is subjective and everybody doesn't find the same thing funny.
Yes,
With that being said, don't cover me, people, or whatever. Don't. Um, that was the first time that I sat in a comedy show and I didn't laugh not one time.
I heard it was just a curse fest. That's what I heard.
I didn't laugh not one time because like Marcus and I were out late a little bit like the night before because like we went out, we had a date night or whatever, and
Okay.
then we slept in some. Well, I'm still an early riser. I woke up and then I'm like, let me watch this movie because I want to talk about this on the podcast. Marcus was still asleep, and is it okay? He's like, yeah. He's like, he could sleep through the, but he could hear it even though he was like resting, and he was like, you didn't laugh not one time, honey. And then he was like, it was just mother effer this, mother, it was just curse, 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 curse. It was
That's
MF,
what I
MF,
heard.
MF,
I haven't
B,
seen
B, B,
that.
B,
I heard it
B,
was just a curse fest. Yeah.
N word, N word, N word. It was every other word. I told this MF and mother, like, like if you're telling a joke, you don't have to replace person with MFer. You have to replace girl with B. You don't have to do that.
Eddie
Like
Murphy said that in his Raw back in the day. He's like, yeah, I get
that's
jokes
what
in
it was.
not just filth form, motherfucker, dick, pussy, snot, and change. Like, I'm not just standing up here cursing.
That's what it was. Like cursing doesn't offend me. I'm not a prude. It doesn't offend me. Like, but tell a joke with it. And it was just cursing. And then for me, watching her routine, I don't know what her cadence was because her cadence was all over the place. Like it didn't flow to me. It didn't flow. And it was just it was all over the place. Like, people have different styles. Like some people are physical comedians where it's like, I'm falling out and I'm doing funny things. Like I'm doing funny stuff like that with my
Arnett,
face. Or
it was like that, yeah.
some people
Arnett.
are very physical. Some people are very racial. Like, yeah, white people do this, black people do this. Some
All
people are very
movie.
racist. Some people are very political with their comedy.
Chris
Some
Rock can
people
get political sometimes, yeah.
some people
This
are
is kind of a
situational.
hybrid.
Some people are situational comedians. Like, yeah,
Seinfeld.
so I walked up to, and then my husband, and some people are very,
Seinfeld is definitely situational.
yes. Some people, well, like some people have unfunny else, Carrot
That's called your prop comics there. That's what those
Some people are that.
like
Um,
Gallagher was like probably
Gallagher, that
the
wasn't funny at
prop
all to
comic of
me.
all time. It's like it was
That
Gallagher.
definitely wasn't my shit because I
I'm
didn't
not a
find that
prop
funny at
comic guy,
all.
but he sold out shows, so somebody
Yeah,
like that.
that wasn't. He was in
Yeah,
Vegas selling our shows.
yeah, like smashing watermelons with mallets. It's not my thing, but motherfuckers were into
Some
that.
people are. I'm country, and this is my thing. Like Don D.C. Curry, John Witherspoon. Like I'm like your uncle, like your great uncle who's country.
On the white side of the car, like your Jeff Foxworthy, like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
might be
trailer
a red-
trash.
he might
He
be a
was that.
redneck. Yeah, Larry the Cable
I'm
Guy. Like,
redneck. I'm redneck trailer trash. Is what he was. Some people are leaning to like interracial, like Gary Owens, like the interracial. Like I have a black wife, and then this is the difference between me and my black wife, and
yeah.
this and that. But it's like different styles. So like I don't even know like what she was. It felt honestly, what it felt to me, it felt like she was doing a therapy session. Like if you were like in session with a
That's what I heard
therapist
too. Like that was Monique just venting. That's what I
and
heard.
you're just releasing all your demons, you're just releasing everything. Like, okay, yeah, when I was 12 years old, I was beat up. I was attacked. I was jumped and attacked by a racial gang, and then I was beaten to death, almost like halfway to death, and put into a hospital. Like it just felt like that. It felt like a therapy. It felt like that type of thing. Like when she was like telling her story, it felt like
That's
therapy.
what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying. You can tell stories like a person now who like who doesn't really tell jokes. You know, to me is like Chappelle is like yeah,
Chappelle, he's a
just tell
storyteller.
stories now. Like that's like what these Netflix like most of them has just been him.
But in his stories,
Well,
he
he's
knows how to make his
entertaining.
stories funny.
He's
It's a
entertaining.
punch. It's a punchline because with a story, this is how you want this is how you want your audience. The edge of the seat, just
Yeah,
like you just waiting, like okay, and then you get the punchline. You're like, oh.
yeah.
And then you
Chappelle
get
doesn't
the
really
punchline.
tell
It's like,
jokes
oh.
anymore. It's just yeah, he's just tells stories.
Yeah, it's story. Like I said, and I like a good storyteller because I'm entertained by stories. I like a good, but her stories were not. It was just not hidden to me. Like just to me personally, I won't say it was the worst. Like some people say it's like the worst ever. I won't say that. I won't say that it
I've seen
wasn't.
some watch the later years of Def Comedy Jam. It was some unfunny comics on there.
I won't say
Like
that it was
after
never
Martin and all of the golden era,
the
after
golden
Martin,
era.
yeah, with Martin, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac. After all of them stopped doing the show, like the later years wasn't funny.
I won't say that it's not that she's not funny at all. It's because like I said, like comedy is subjective. It is. Like I said, me personally, I didn't laugh not one time. Because I was just sitting there waiting for it to. Now, a comedy special that actually was good that I did watch the day before Monique's, I did watch God Loves Me, Marlon Wayne's.
Marlon,
That was hilarious.
I,
Like
I did watch Marlon
I
special.
laughed the entire time because like I tried to watch one of Marlon's before and then I had to turn off because it wasn't hidden to
Marlon
me.
ain't never been that funny. It's the first time
It
Marlon
just
been
wasn't
funny.
hidden to me. But
I
this
guess
one,
he decided he wanted to really work on his act because
yeah,
Marlon has never been a funny stand up to me.
he
It's
was
like
really good though. He
it's like
worked
the last one's like he just decided okay like I'm gonna actually I'm gonna do
work
this
on my
comedy shit
craft.
the right way and shit. He decided yeah because like I said and it's subjective. Some people might have found his other stuff funny, but Marlon has never been funny to me. This
Yeah.
was funny though. This one yeah.
It was really funny because like I laughed the entire time. Like Marlon had me dying laughing. Like I was cracking up the entire time. Like Marlon, like he's so silly.
The
Like
stand up of the Wayans family has always been Damon. Like
Damon,
been the one that's been
head
funny.
and shoulders. Damon, not even close.
Yeah.
Damon's
Watch
always
those. Now watch the Damon Wayne specials on HBO from back in the 80s and 90s. Hilarious. Watch those.
and then when he was imitating his brother's voices when he did Keenan and Damon, that made me laugh. He imitated both his brothers.
Good stuff though.
But Monique, like I said, if you guys want to check it out, like I said, like obviously my warning I give to you, she curses every other word. So if you have children, make sure they're either not there or asleep. Because she literally curses every other word. So if you're offended by heavy swearing, don't watch it at all. That's what I say. Like if you're like our mom,
Yeah.
don't watch it. Just don't. Because you're going to be highly offended by like all the cursing.
Got a couple of quick takes before we go into before we take it home. It's like yes, I say the Freakniks coming to Hulu. And my timeline is like been a lot of extras are sweating.
The extras beware.
So it's
That's
like
what I said. So many skeletons about to fall out these extras closets.
and like
And bones popping
everything
out.
on my timeline is putting a disclaimer on his head, but not me. Like all I did was like, yeah, it was twerk a little bit. So we gonna find out. I guess. Hope they ain't get you in none of these clips. I'm gonna be looking for like because I know a
You
lot
be
of
like,
the freak dick. I'm gonna be looking. Yeah, I know her. I know her. I know him. Wait, is that Feast? Like, yeah.
Feast go that freak out the freak nigga. I think that he got 1 year.
Go to the Feast and Xavier went. Yeah,
They went what, 95? I
93.
think?
93.
93. They went 93.
90,
Cause I know they went either in 93 or 95, like somewhere between that. I know they went between 93 and 95.
Those hating because they didn't tell me. They just went. So y'all niggas didn't tell me I wanted to go to.
They went to the freak nick.
It's just
Oh,
already there. Like by the time I found out, I didn't even have time to like tag along. It was just already there.
so I'm gonna be watching to see if I
It's
see
like
feet.
the old like back said your Paul like wish you were here. It's kind of
Wish you were here.
that. I got one of those. It's like
I'm gonna look for feast. Is that my brother? No, but Xers are gonna be, and that's my thing where I come like this. Like, I mean, I'm an old millennial, so I was too young for the Freaknik. I can say that. So it's nothing.
right up my alley. That's
I
my
was
era.
I was way too young for the Freaknik. But I will lead by saying this. So Xers, a lot of you Xers who are now PT,
Especially on the young end, like extras like my age, the
a
young end.
lot of you Xers who are like the president of the PTA or like you're the union president at your job or whatever, you have like a title, you're acting all high and mighty. We about to find out that you have some skeletons and stop being so judgmental and talking about
Some
these
of my
kids on
younger,
TikTok.
some of my students, my they saying that say, yeah, I'll be glad when this freak exam comes. So yeah, so a lot of y'all judgments are over. I can leave us alone. Yeah,
Exactly. Like you
well,
judging these
I was
kids on
judging us. It's
TikTok,
like
on
yeah, like
YouTube.
so. So I'm hoping I see some of y'all in this freak.
Exactly. See you with a thong clapping your butt together. I hope we see that because like everybody has a past. I say openly, I was Cash Money Records. Every time that came on, I was I was hitting it at the rink. I was hitting my dance move or whatever.
I was a DJ in the '90s and early
Yes.
2000s. Enough said. It's like
Enough said. I went to the rink. I went to the route. I went
I
to the
was all
50-yard line. I went to Nitro.
and
What's the
I was at the club.
Dawn
I
Expo?
was at Velocity. I was at Voyeur.
Secrets.
I was at Secrets.
Door 21.
I was Voyeur is what we called it.
It was door 21 by the time I turned 21 years. So
Love Sugar Hill. Shout out Marcus Chapman. That was his spot.
Monkey Buddha,
I was at all them spots.
Cinnabar.
The
Yeah.
Taste on 63rd, all that. All of that shit. It's like,
You see Ryan.
East to the Ryan, I did too. Yeah, Brian Fury's Fraser and Ramonski. I was there with them. They were old. I was the young cat.
But I mean, everybody has a past. So like let's stop being so judgy and being like, that's just because you
Shout out
are
Pimps Up, Holes Down was at East of the Ryan. Remember
just
that
because you are in a
documentary?
position now where you're like, I'm dignified and I'm a mother and I'm this and I'm this and I'm that and I'm in and I'm a CEO now and I'm this and I'm that. It's like just because you're at a certain point now.
We're gonna bring this full circle. I want to see Brandon Johnson and his wife as a freak from back in the day. That would be amazing, man. He probably went.
But my thing I would lead to is he married her though. That's black love. They got married.
That is a freak, Nick.
They got married. They still together. 3 kids later, they still together. So
I want to see him. That's like if I see the documentary that says Chicago mayor on that, I'm gonna fall out. I ain't gonna be able to handle it.
people were saying, that wasn't me, that was my twin. I was like, that's my twin. You know I got a twin, right?
Like that's not me, that was us.
You and Feast do look enough alike, so
Hilarious. Another quick take rest in peace going out to Bob Lee, founder of Cash App, yeah. Who stabbed and murdered. It was crazy. That stuff, yeah.
hey,
Stabbed to death, yeah.
that so, did, what was he like 43, 44?
43, I believe, yeah.
He's a young guy, yeah. That just doesn't sound like. I mean, I hope that they really do.
Saying it's some kind of scandal. It's like, yeah, a lot of people, the conspiracy theorists are definitely.
A lot of conspiracy theorists are talking.
Some don't sound right about this.
Yeah, it just stinks. Like it does. Like the whole thing stinks because if I'm a CEO of Cash App, that means that I'm like these tech people. They're billionaires.
I ain't gonna be out in these streets like this.
These tech people are billionaires. They're billionaires. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm not going to be out at whatever without security. I'm just first of all, I'm not going to be out. Period. Yeah. And then every time I go out, I'm going to have security every single time. I'm having security around me 24/7. If I'm a billionaire,
streets like that,
you ain't going to be able to step within a foot of me. If I'm a billionaire, I'm having security around me at all times because you just got to protect yourself. You have to.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it just stinks though. I really hope that we have ring cameras, we have all type of
Yeah,
cameras
you know they
everywhere.
doing they investigation. Yes, they gonna find who did this. Also,
Mhm.
another quick one for all my wrestling fans: WWE and UFC joining forces to a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Yeah, I think
Yes, like
21
21
billion. What? Yeah,
billion
that,
with a B.
and it all
But why
happened
did Vince McMahon
happened
like a cartoon
WrestleMania
villain?
weekend. That's what was like crazy because WrestleMania for those is like the Super Bowl of WWE. It's like the
Yeah.
Oscars. It's like their biggest day of the year. So this happened right when all that was already crazy because of WrestleMania weekend. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and WWE just got sold, and the
That
UFC
money,
bought it. It's like, whoa, okay.
money. But why was Vince McMahon looking like that? He looked like a cartoon villain.
Oh
He
yeah,
looked
he looked like
strange.
like Snidely Whiplash with the black hair and the mustache. It's
And the
like
mustache. I was like, what is he looked like? It looked like he was
he
Boris
looked like
bad
an
enough. That's
evil
what he looked
billionaire.
like. I'm Boris bad enough.
Because that was funny. It's like, what's up with Vince and the black hair and the
Because
mustache?
I had to do a double take because I didn't even know who he was. And they was like, yeah, they was like, they merged. And I was like, is that Vince McMahon? Like, I had to do a double take. I didn't recognize him. Like, what is this?
Guess that's his billionaire
That's his billion. That's his
his
billionaire
billionaire
swag.
swag. That's what that was.
I guess. I guess when you have this, I don't care how I look. I got a bill. I got look at my money. Look at my bank account. Look at how much money I got. I can do whatever.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's say because I'm a fan of both. I like MMA and pro wrestling. Yeah, so
So when
so,
those two worlds
mm.
collide,
And before we wrap, of course, I got to go dun 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 dun. Wrapping up the NBA's regular season right about now. We have our final seedings in the Eastern Conference. West is still fluid because from like 5 through 10 is like it's real close right now.
it's
Yeah,
like, okay, if
but
you win, then I'm up. And then if you win, I'm back. And then if you
but
it's
we
like,
do know the teams out west because thanks to the Bulls and their victory over Dallas, that officially put Dallas out of the competition. Yeah, because Dallas was at 11, like, and they had this much of a chance
they
for
have this
getting
much of a
in,
chance.
and the Bulls beat them. So then that
People
officially
said
eliminated
nope.
that officially eliminated Dallas from the play-in. So like right now they on the outside
And they
looking.
said this is the first time in what almost 40 years where like a Texas team isn't going to the playoff, don't they even have a chance to like
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
that's what they said. They said it's the first time in I think like 40 years.
you're
They
right
said,
because in the 80s and yeah the Spurs and the Rockets were typically good. The Dallas sucked back then. Then when
yeah.
the Rockets went through their rebuild, that's when Dirk was in Dallas. They got better, and Tim Duncan in
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And San Antonio fell off, and like Houston still had like Harden, like they still were like yeah good, and Dallas, Luca was kind of just trying to make noise. Now like they all like and but damn Dallas ain't even really rebuilding, but they just suck. It's like it's like because Houston and San Antonio are rebuilding, like
Yeah,
Dallas
they are.
they're supposed to have the 1-2 punch of Luca and Kyrie. It just didn't work. It's like, and Kyrie's unrestricted, so that's interesting. Does Kyrie stay or
Mhm.
does he go? It's like, yeah, because they gave up a
Well,
lot to get him. Yeah,
Mark Cuban knows how to pull a rabbit out of a hat, so we'll see.
I think Kyrie stays, but we'll see what happens.
He know how to pull a rabbit out of a hat.
So here's the playoff picture as we stand right.
Yes. Let's see.
East is set. Like none of these
Each
are.
is set.
West is fluid. We'll come back to the yeah. So East is well we'll come back to 1 and 2 because we don't know yet. Cavs and the Knicks are playing 4-5. 3-6 is Sixers Nets.
Mhm.
So then to get 1 and 2, we got the play in. It's like, yeah, Bulls and Raptors are yeah playing the 9-10. The winner of that plays the loser of 7-8, which is the Heat Hawks. So whoever wins Heat Hawks, they automatically get the 7th seed.
Right.
And then the loser of Heat Hawks plays the winner of Bulls Raptors. And right here, that's where we at right now.
And that's what I said last week. I said the Bulls need to be watching film to see how to beat the Raptors. So I said, because you're probably going to play the Raptors in the play in. You're probably going to play the Raptors. And also, you like I say, you probably going to have to play Atlanta too.
Yeah.
You probably going to play Atlanta. I think Heat probably will win.
Yeah.
You probably have to play Atlanta too. So the Bulls need to beat the Raptors and the Hawks, basically,
just to get a shot
to
at
get to the
Milwaukee.
playoffs.
Just to get a shot at Milwaukee. Think about that. You got to beat the Raptors and the Hawks just for the right to play Giannis. It's like
What's this like the big boss thing? It feels like the 80s video game where it's like, you know. This is the little boss. This is the medium boss.
Yeah, just go right to play Giannis and them. You got to beat two teams.
Oh my
That's where the
gosh.
Bulls stand right now. And out west, once again, 1 and 2 will yeah, but as it stands right now, this might all change. Like I think Phoenix is locked in at 4.
Mhm.
Clippers, I'm not sure about. Yeah. I know Golden State doesn't have 6 locked up. The Sacramento got 3 locked up.
Okay.
Like the Lakers could still sneak in here. It's like I think if it's tied, I think the Lakers own the tiebreaker, so the Warriors have to have the better record, I believe.
Okay.
Right here. I could pull up the actual standings. Well, this is where we stand right now. These are the teams that are going to be out west. Like the
Yeah.
play-in teams will be. Well, these are locked in. OKC and Timberwolves. They're not moving anywhere. Pelicans probably locked in, but the Lakers and
Lakers can
Warriors
still
might
move.
switch. The Lakers and Warriors might switch 6 and 7. Yeah. So like those, because they're really close. And I want to say the Lakers own the tiebreaker. So Golden State has to have the better record if it's
They
tied.
have to.
If the ties there in the play-in.
I know Golden State wants to. They want to try to, repeat.
Yeah.
They want to try to, do a
And
repeat.
I wouldn't want to start my title defense in the fucking play-in. So like they got
Yeah.
that. It's like, I wouldn't want to have to like beat an extra team just to the right to defend your title. But right now, yeah, like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all fluid. Like none of those are locked in. So Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, Pelicans, like any one of those teams could still technically move into that 6th spot. Right now, Golden State, they're 1 game up on the Lakers. So like the Lakers, they have to win their game, and the Lakers have to lose their game. Like it's something like. Because if they lose and the Lakers win, it's tied. The Lakers will move in the 6th. So basically, the Warriors just have to win. It's like win.
Just win.
You got to win, and you're in.
Win and you're in.
Golden State wins their last game, they're in. It's like
right.
And like I said, 9-10, that's locked in. Minnesota and OKC. Because like Bulls eliminated Dallas because they were at 11, so they were trying to come for OKC.
Trying to come for OKC in there. Bulls said bye-bye.
But Denver, Memphis, Sacramento are all locked in at 1, 2, and 3, and Phoenix at 4. The top 4 seeds are locked. 5 through 10 is where it's like gets interesting out west.
Bulls, you gotta win. You gotta beat the Raptors, and then you gotta probably beat the Hawks.
Yep. East is 100% locked. Like nobody's moving in the East. So yeah. So Bulls need to just rest everybody. Like Dalen Terry needs to get some serious time in that last game.
Reverse Terry.
Marco needs to get some serious. Marcos needs to start.
I want to see Simonovic.
Marco needs to start his last game.
I said maybe let your stars play about 5 minutes and then just take them out, just so they can like not be rusty, because they do have to play in the next day. So it's like just so they don't be rusty, so they can have like their legs under them, and then just pull them. Let them play for 5 minutes and pull them. Yeah.
That's where we at. So playoff season got here quick, didn't it?
My favorite time of the year.
See what these Bulls do in this play-in. Hopefully, we won't be having bad news this time next week. Let's see what happens with them.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, and the Bulls.
Wore my red and everything for them. See what happens. That's not another damn podcast. Episode 306. Did a lot for you this week. Definitely appreciate your support. You want to support us further? Give us one of these likes. Also, subscribe, share, rate, review on all your platforms. Talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, SoundCloud, iHeart, TLC Talk Radio, YouTube, your Amazon Alexa devices as well. Also, follow me at Ozman the Wizard on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Oz Radio on Snapchat and Facebook as well. You know how to get at me.
And you can check me out at MSIMA8626 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, SCR8GULLEY1 on Twitter, SCR8GULLEY7 on Instagram. Also, please like the Straight Gully Facebook fan page. Check out straightgully.com for your blogs and your vlogs. And for your video production needs, check out straightgullyproductions.com.
I'm Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
I'm gone.